as I understand, in Bengaluru, there are, absolutely the roads are in bad shape. Also, the traffic jams are like legendary now. With this hike, it's a major financial burden on the common man, on students, on working people, and also on the others, because there has already been a 15% hike in bus fares, Nagesh.
See, basically, we have to view this in two different, viewpoints. One is from the government side, the other is from the traveler side. So, from the government side, there is a Niti Aayog report that our city loses 47,000 crores every year because of traffic congestion. So, if that is the figure to be taken, then the government has to make all efforts to, nudge people to take public transportation.
Right.
That means they have to actually make sure that rather than their private transport, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, and everything, they should take metro or BMTC buses as far as possible. Now, for that, discounted rates and passes and other things are already there, and they have to be resorted to. So that is one, viewpoint. The other personal viewpoint is, if an office goer actually needs to travel, or a college a student needs to travel,
Yeah.
so then how much spending they have to do in a month, and that comparison has to be done with private transport versus public transport.
But do you
So
think
if they
no, no, but it seems, Nagesh, I understand where you're coming from, and it's a
yeah
very logical argument. But do
yeah
you think any
yeah
comparison was done? Yes, they need funds. It's expanded, Namma Metro. What it started off to
yes
what it will become, it is expanded. All that is
yes
fine. But what is a metro
yes
for? What is a bus fare? For to help you and I to get from point A to point B.
exactly. So
I'm not
if you
talking
take
about
90
privileged
rupees
people like me. People will turn around and say,
Yeah,
"Oh,
no,
you're
if
sitting in
you
an AC
consider
room."
90 rupees,
But
if you
what
take
is
90
this?
rupees per
Yeah,
trip,
yeah,
you just double it for a round trip, and then you add, the local transportation cost is still, to be paid by the
right,
person, right?
yeah.
Auto
An
or whatever.
auto, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so how much will it be total? So, unfortunately, Metro has not planned its, operations like that. That
Huh.
is my point.
Yes, that's the
So
point.
neither the citywide planning was done, nor the personal planning was done to attract people to metro as a financially more viable option.
I
So
want to
both
ask
ways
you,
metro
yeah,
has failed.
Nagesh, the thing
Yeah.
is that if you see the TomTom report also, traffic slowest, no roads, pothole, killer
Yes.
potholes, brand
Yes.
Bengaluru, I think where the brand has gone. Now it is the responsibility of the government and the civic authorities to see that the people who are living in Bengaluru, they are not inconvenienced. See, rising prices of public transport is a major issue, because when you are budgeting for a month, major chunk of the money will go for bus passes. When I was a student, how much am I spending on autos and buses? That's very, very important, and it's not easy for them to kind of really adapt themselves to such a hike. Would you agree that they should rethink this, get back on the table once again, and relook at the hikes, Nagesh Aras?
Yes, actually, and that is why I mentioned those two viewpoints. And fortunately, it is possible to reconcile both. See, from the government side, the 47,000 crores of economic loss per annum is considered to be a cost which they can actually reverse by making metro more popular. And how they can do it? By making it cheaper for the public. And for that, they have a calculation called EIRR. That's a
Okay.
metric which is given to them by MoHUA, that is the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs,
All
actually.
right.
So they have given a 14% of EIRR target, which is, Metro has never actually followed that principle. They have never done their calculation based on that.
Okay.
Now, when they are saying, so that the 47,000 crore, if they can actually consider as part of the EIRR calculation, they can make the fares very cheap. It is
Uh,
worth it because it
Yeah,
is
but I wonder
projected
why they
that
haven't
if
done it,
people
because
use
as I
metro,
understand
it
it,
will.
it went to a commission to a retired judge. He made certain comparison with Delhi and Chennai and Bombay, everything. Then he said this much it should be. Now, every city is different.
That's
Every city has its different
that's not
needs.
the way to calculate. We have to calculate vis-a-vis our own economic system, and we
Exactly.
have to also say that this will benefit. In fact, detailed
Yeah.
calculations are
Sure.
available from IISC. And Professor Pawan Verma has actually given more simulation and detailed figures of that, and he has also calculated how much the fare should be, and
So
that
you
is
think you
actually
think you think the students who spoke to us, the people, working people, all of them seem very, very unhappy. They are logical in saying, I know they may adapt one day, but the point is, as of today, Nagesh, do you accept that they have a legitimate reason to be angry over this price hike?
not only that, but there is a danger that they will forget about metro and revert to their private transportation, because that is comparable now. So
Yeah.
what can happen is, even more traffic jams on the city roads. So that is something which we have to bear in mind. That 47,000 crores worth of loss was last calculation. Now it may be even much more.
So are you saying if I take out my private vehicle, my scooty or my bike or other things, if I live in Bengaluru, that's going to cost, it is also an environmental hazard. Remember the Kabban
As
Park
it, yes,
thing where everyone is talking about cleaning up Bengaluru. Now that will also add to this. It will also add to the
yes.
traffic snarls, and overall it will be
No,
hell.
ultimately, the 47,000 crore figure actually calculates the expenses which we incur in health, costs and all that, which includes loss of productivity, treatment needed for, say, asthma or other,
Right.
diseases, including cancer.
All
So
right.
all that is actually calculated. So this is going to rise.